Boys Bible Study.
Boys Bible Study.
Boys Bible Study.
And some department stores even tell employees to avoid saying Merry Christmas.
No shot. Liquid courage. I'll be ready. Over the lips and past the gums. Look out, shepherd. Here I comes.
Welcome back to Old Rugged Podcast. This is Boys Bible Study. We are back. We have a very exciting film today and some very exciting news that we're about to share. So, as usual, I'm Ash here with my co-hosts.
Scott.
And Julian.
Yes. And before we get into the Donald James Parker film that we absolutely loved, that we're dying to talk about today, we would really like to share with you that we, Boys Bible Study, are announcing a new perk that is available to our Patreon subscribers. And I am just so excited about this. I think it's going to be fun as fuck. And Scott, you're spearheading this project. Why don't you let everybody know what we are on about?
We are now in the business of DVDs. We will be releasing one bootleg, if you will, DVD per month. Anyone who is signed up at our Sainthood tier on Patreon by the first of every month can get the DVD. For this first one, it's through Easter. So if you're listening the day this came out, there's still time to sign up for this month's. Otherwise, go for the next one. But this will basically be DVDs with a new cover, a new title, and oftentimes some modifications to the movies here and there. If you've caught any of our live streams in the past, it'll be completely in line with that same type of thing that you might see on our past live streams. However, public live stream spaces, unfortunately, are silencing good, clean Christian media these days. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have to take it to physical. We've got to spread the word another way.
Yeah, that's really true. And I mean, this is exciting for a couple of reasons. One thing is that, Scott, as long as I've known you, since we became friends many years ago, something that you've just done for totally fun for your friends, or sometimes, when you were a member of Everything is Terrible, you would do this too, is you would do alternate edits of movies, alternate takes of stuff. And, sometimes I know you've made me just a boutique edit of a movie that you've given only to me and a couple other friends, just purely for our enjoyment. And so I think it's really, really cool that, a select group of individuals who are choosing to pledge at our $20 Sainthood tier will get to see some of your avant-garde film editing work. I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think y'all will enjoy it. And we will also have movies here and there that are simply not available for streaming or on DVD already. Which thankfully, Tubi is a great purveyor of Christian faith-based media, but not a lot of other places are. So there's a lot being missed, and we're here to help change that.
Yes, we are. No, we can guarantee that the monthly DVDs that are a part of the Sainthood tier going forward are going to be genuinely unique one-off film experiences.
Yes.
In some way, even if it's a small way, they will be different from the form you can find these movies in, and they will not be pieces of media that you'll be able to consume elsewhere. So I really encourage you to consider switching to this patron tier. Of course, everyone who's pledged $5 and up will still continue to get the podcast, the RSS feed, but this is a new perk we're adding. And so, yeah, just to review, Sunday, April 5th will be the first cutoff for the first DVD. If you sign up anytime on that day when you're hearing this, you will get our first DVD. If it's later than that, you'll get our second one a month later. Also, something I do want to add, just a little housekeeping. Right now, the current perk for the $20 tier is getting your name announced on the podcast. Because we're switching up the tier, and I'm anticipating there's going to be a lot of people like, just buying in for 1 month because the movie looks good, maybe stopping it another month because it's too expensive and coming back. Like, that's totally fine. That's encouraged. We want you to have the experience you want. But I'm going to then stop reading the names of people at the end because I fear it's going to be a little too moving a little too quickly to keep track of. And I also kind of don't want to put people on the spot since we're like changing the format of how we're doing this. So yeah, that is the housekeeping. The $20 tier is getting bigger and better. And starting this week. Very cool.
I'm excited.
I'm really excited.
I, for one, am excited.
I'm really excited. So I hope everyone listening is too. We already got, I noticed there were 3 signups today, which is really exciting. So, maybe we'll get even more. We can share these unique film experiences with everybody. We will be fishers of DVDs. That's what we
were really moved and motivated by Kyle Idleman last week. Because he was talking about putting your faith to action and like doing more work and enjoying doing more work to spread God's message. So
yes,
we're putting the work in.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we want to be more like Kyle Idleman in many ways. Oh, also to your point about live streaming silencing, that is something I want to mention on the show because we've been taught like one of our 2026 resolutions is like we want to make the show bigger. We want to be more interactive. Scott has tried to do some live streaming things and the landscape really has changed. It is getting harder to live stream these movies, like simple as, especially in a way that's like a link that you can just click on and see our streams. It's getting really hard. So apologies. Until we can figure out a new setup to do that, we're going to have to put those on hiatus. I think this will be a really fun and even more personalized way to get a cool film experience with us. So, yeah, we're going back to our old rugged ways.
We're going old.
That's
school.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were called God Told Us, go to Kentucky, buy a DVD press. There's people there who need serious help. And, maybe that mission will take us all over the country. Let's get into our movie for this week. This is a really, really special one. For me personally, it's one of my favorites we've watched in a while. I mean, I shouldn't have expected anything less, given that the film of the week, Old Rugged Cross, is created by Donald James Parker, an absolutely beloved auteur. He cleaned up in this year's Golden Calf Awards. And he's just been like, ever since we as a podcast discovered his work, we are fans. Old Rugged Cross, this film of his, in some ways, one of his most solid films, I think, personally. So it's great to talk about it.
Yeah. He's back.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Not as Gramps, though.
No, not as
just
Gramps.
A different character played by him who has the same affects and worldview and also is completely alienated his immediate family.
Why is that
And also gets a gun pointed at him.
Why is that a theme of all of Donald James Parker's films?
Yes.
I mean, we can only speculate.
When did this come out?
2016.
Okay.
So it's about the time of his like major active period.
Yeah. And this one he refers
Goes to college is 2014.
Okay.
Okay, great.
In this one he refers to his daughters as temptations away from Christ, God. So that should maybe give you a little glimpse into this man's life.
Yeah.
This is which
He was
number
recently
movie?
waived by the Chicago Bulls.
Are you talking about Jaden Ivey?
Yeah.
He's too Christian for the NBA. What can you say? Which number Donald James Parker movie is this that we've seen that he has had a falling out with his daughters or daughter?
At least 3.
Yeah. Definitely at least 3.
At least 3, just because I know that it's a huge part of both of the Gramps movies. And I know that the Gramps movies are technically the same series, but the reason that those count as 2 separate movies is because that theme is explored in different ways in each movie. Like in Gramps Goes to College, it's just like ambiently like, and my daughters won't even talk to me anymore. And then in Gramps' shoes, it's actually like the fantasy of him going to his estranged family and repairing the relationship.
Yeah.
But it's got to be. I'm sorry. I know it's gauche to speculate about the man's personal life, but after all, this is a podcast, and that's what we do: is gauche intrusions into the lives of creative people. But you know how in all of Stephen King's books, they're all about a writer in Maine?
Yes.
Well, in all of Donald James Parker's films, they're about a man who has been divorced and has alienated all of his daughters and everyone who loves him. That's got to come from a real place. It's just got to.
He's just curious about that character. He's just exploring.
Maybe so. But it's just such a funny thing because, I actually think that in ways that we'll get into, I think Old Rugged Cross is one of his best, like, arguments for his worldview. I think this movie was one of his most coherent, like, arguments.
Yeah.
It was still insane, don't get me wrong, but it was coherent. But one thing that's really funny about Old Rugged Cross and his other films is that him alienating all the people closest to him is actually supposed to be like a reason to trust him.
Yeah.
And his faith.
For strangers.
Yes. Like they're like, oh, this guy's real. His whole family hates him.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
And people always buy into it. It's
Yeah.
really amazing. But I mean, that kind of makes sense given his character in this movie seemingly travels from town to town.
Yeah, he barely stays long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enraging people to the point where they want to kill him within like a week of him arriving.
Yeah, he's just like
When did Unexpected Bar Mitzvah come out?
that one. I have his IMDb open right now.
I'm trying to chart his like belief system.
Yes. No, I'll map it out. So these are just ones we've watched. In Gramps' Shoes, 2014. Gramps Goes to College, also 2014. Then he wrote One More Round in 2015. Then he wrote Unexpected Bar Mitzvah, also in 2015.
Wow, prolific.
Yes, and he did several more in 2015 through 16. Old Rugged Cross came out in 2016. Then he was silent for a couple of years before Hearts Are Trump came out in 2020.
Yeah.
Which we have not reviewed that one, but we will in the future, I'm sure.
So this was after Unexpected Bar Mitzvah.
But not long after. It was
Okay.
about a year after, and it was part of a string of 3 years where he made like 10 or 11 movies. Old Rugged Cross is about a character, Edward, Pastor Edward, and in the beginning of the film, we meet him, and as Julian already said, he is this pastor is going from town to town, seemingly on the road, just completely beholden to the whims of God, who he believes to be in direct communication with. And when we meet him, God has told Pastor Evan Shepherd is his character's name. I just noticed that name, how stupid that is. Pastor Evan Shepherd was
Is
told,
Evan supposed to be like heaven?
It has to be, because his love interest name is insane, which we'll get to in a moment. But Evan was told by God to drive east until he had to stop. And he arrived in a town in Kentucky, stopped, and it was there that he is to set up his church.
Yeah.
Now, I cannot help but be reminded of the biography of some other unrelated Christian auteurs who we've discussed many times on the show. And that is, of course, the Wright family. The real life story of the Wright family, who've directed many Christian films, is that at one point or another, they were also driving around the country trying to find a town to set up a church in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to guess enraging people everywhere they went as well. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just going to guess.
And then also becoming the local police chief.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only married police chiefs.
Is that when they
United
bought a
States.
church building, when they were the married police chiefs?
I don't think so.
I don't know if they were police
Okay.
chiefs at the same time as they had the church, but
I
we
know they
found
got the police force to buy them their dog.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
the
did.
K9 unit.
They
Yeah.
did. I don't know if those things happened at the same time, but I just remember there was a news story from some local, it might have been West Virginia, but some local paper was like new couple in town buys decaying church. And the quotes in the article were just like them being delusional, being like, God told us to buy this, and even though we don't have much money, like, we're going to fix it up and do the best we can. And it's like, then a year later, they're in a New Mexico town being police officers. It's like, what are you guys on about?
They did their own Eddington.
They literally did.
You know, what year was that? Maybe they had just seen this movie.
I don't
I'll have
know.
to- Jamie, bring that up. It's not here.
Jamie?
Oh my God.
Jamie? Jamie has left for Old Rugged Cross podcast. He no longer wants to be a part of Corrupt Boys Bible Study. He's going to a better podcast.
Yeah.
But
Old Rugged Cross.
Yeah.
That's why I picked this one, because it was called Old Rugged Cross. I was like, what's more Eastery than the Old Rugged Cross?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
True.
Oh, that's what's coming up.
Yes. By the way, happy Easter. I was talking to my mom, and she was like, I was talking about somebody's work schedule and them having to work on Sunday, and she was like, "Does anyone have off for Easter?" And I was like, "You know what, Mom? I don't think anyone has off for Easter anymore."
Isn't it on a Sunday?
Yeah, but like people who usually work on Sundays, like, you know, service workers and stuff, I don't think places are like closed on Easter. You know,
Did they ever do that?
No.
Probably at one point they did.
Like when and
I don't know, in like 1700.
Yeah.
I started a
I've ever
job
heard
on
of that.
Easter once.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of holidays that nobody gets off. People work on Christmas
That's
and
true.
every night of Hanukkah.
That's true. That's really true.
Yeah. Somebody's got to control the weather.
That's right.
You're going Lindy, man. You're like making up alternative histories.
Yeah.
People used to get Easter off.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
I come to think of it, I cannot think of an Easter Sunday where I worked, or most Sundays, in fact.
I mean, I don't know.
I have Friday off for Good Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, I do know people get that off because it's a weekday.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, case closed.
But it's not like a federal holiday, so it's
Right.
like not mandated.
Yeah, I guess I was
guess.
going to make an argument that they should, but like literally, if they should, everybody should get every night of Hanukkah off.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Hanukkah's not actually like a real holiday
Oh.
in the Jewish faith. It's like an American holiday
Oh, interesting.
or
Nice.
like a consumerist holiday to go with Christmas. It's like one sentence in the Torah, and they don't even really care about it in Israel. Not that that's like a good judge of like what's good or bad, but
Sure.
it's really one of the lesser holidays. It's just big here because
it's a Christmas, like
it's
alternative.
Christmas adjacent.
Christmas competitor, yeah.
Oh, interesting. The other problem with having Easter as a federal holiday, if such a thing were to happen, is that it's a movable holiday, which does not really go well in its favor as far as like, having work off.
Even federal holidays, people have to work. I guess federal just means if you work for like the post office, you don't work.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if literally every person had the day off? Society would collapse.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe we should remove holidays.
Now now you're thinking like a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
It all comes back to Jehovah.
Then you don't have to work at all
That's right.
because there are no holidays.
That's such a good point. If everybody has to work all the time,
Then I don't have to
nobody,
work.
then I don't have to work.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a win-win.
any day is a good day not to work then. When you make it holidays, it's like, well, I'll just hold out till the holiday, the one day.
That's
Plus,
so
everyone
true.
in your church is working all the time, making all this extra money to give to you when you ultimately have to quit your job because you're getting a promotion.
That's right. You can live in your churchmate, fellow churchgoer's basement.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're working out a plan here. I think it's all really coming
It's a
together.
finished basement.
Well, even
Yeah.
better. Well, yeah. So we have a real bootstrap traveling Christian story in direct communication with God. The idea of being able to speak directly to God and very clearly receive his messages minute to minute is a recurring theme in Donald James Parker's work. Donald's characters in all of his films, whether he's playing his beloved character Gramps or another guy who's just like Gramps, they all seem to be able to talk to God. I mean, in Old Rugged Cross, there's a moment in the middle of his own church service where he turns to the character Luke and is just like, God is telling me you have to read 1st and 2nd Samuel like right now. And then the earlier in the movie, the two men, like right when he gets to town, his first like congregation member he ever meets is like, like the guy is like, oh, God told me to come over and talk to you. And Donald's like, well, God told me to talk to you. They're having like a God off,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not from here.
Nope, I'm out of Kansas.
Well, what brings you here?
Oh, you're not going to believe this story. God told me to start a church. I said, where? He said, pack up your car and drive east until I tell you to stop. I was just approaching the exit to this town, and the word to halt came down, and here I am.
Well, actually, I will believe that story because God just told me to stop here and talk to you.
It's like, maybe I'm just not listening close enough, but I just don't know if it works like that.
Yeah. Is the church like, this felt like an episode of Righteous Gemstones to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the battling churches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that like as common in reality as it is in these works of fiction?
Not that I've personally heard of.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a story like that, but
there's
got to
be some small towns where two churches are like close enough to each other or something.
Yeah, that they're
Yeah.
jostling for members.
There's like
An
my
influence.
hometown is known as the city of churches. There's more churches
Wow.
in Fort Wayne like per capita than any other city in the United States.
Wow.
Really?
I think so.
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah, and I don't think that there was like a lot of rivalries there or anything. I don't know. I wasn't aware. I was going to one of. And we had like 3 synagogues too. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Varg Vikernes gets out of prison and moves to Fort Wayne, Indiana.
For the Fort Waynians are a people of faith.
They are.
They really are. Yeah.
They really are. It's a magical thing. Maybe Pastor Evan Shepherd is going to get called there next.
God have mercy on our souls.
I guess I wanted to know, speaking of talking to God, would either of you whether or not it was the Christian God or whatever, but would either of you say there was like a moment in your life where you were in a moment and like God or some sort of, you got some feeling like you needed to do something that came from outside of yourself?
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
I don't know either. I mean, I would like to have an anecdote, but it's just,
I can feel anything that has involved me acting on something, I can trace like a through line. There's never been any sort of like compulsive urge that came out of nowhere, which I think is probably why some of these people end up in mental health institutions.
no.
Like the dad pulling into the, like you were just saying, Ash, the dad pulling into the church parking lot and being like, Jesus is telling me to pull over here now. And then he turns in and is like, what's this guy doing here?
What are you doing?
Well, Lord just told me to pull in here.
Why?
I don't know yet.
I think that to think that God is like you're so important to God that she is orchestrating, pulling the strings would be a little alarming.
Right.
Considering everything else that is happening in the world. I guess that's why people who think that way tend to have like extremely inflated, almost to the point of mania, egos.
I know. I almost think that it's more about like appreciation than it is like influencing events.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm thankful for that. You know,
Yeah.
it lets me recognize this was something I desired and this was something that I got, and that is special. That makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was God beaming a circumstance into my life.
Totally.
But at the end of the day, it's like, doesn't matter. These are things I think about when Donald James Parker said, "Oh yeah, God told me that I wasn't allowed to marry you." to a beautiful
Good
woman.
excuse though.
He said we could smash, though. He said for whatever reason in this instance, we can bang.
Yeah.
Wait, did he really say that?
No. Okay. Yeah. God told me I could have my way with your body, but I am forbidden from marrying again.
As long as I have a chaperone in the room.
And he said, you can go down on me, but I can't go down on you for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, it's gay to eat a woman's pussy.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
You know, God told me, I'm trying to do Donald James Parker, I can't really do it, that it was gay to eat a woman's pussy.
Well, it's not gay to flick her jelly bean, I'll tell you that much. Now, why don't we take this from the top?
Not Reagan flicking a jelly bean. Not Reagan flicking Nancy's jelly bean.
What was that thing about her being like the ultimate head queen, the throat goat?
The throat goat. I don't remember how that started, but there was
that was like the Hollywood rumor or something.
Yeah, I think there was some actor who claimed that like Nancy Reagan gave him head. And so people were calling her the throat goat for a
Can you
little
imagine
bit.
if that was part of like the Cold War? If Gorbachev said Stalin, who was in charge of USSR during that time? Vladimir Lenin,
maybe. Yeah, let's just say
Karl Marx.
Yeah, let's say Karl Marx told Nancy
Karl
Reagan.
Marx.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I imagine Nancy Reagan's given an assignment to blow as many Hollywood actors as possible on behalf of the Soviet Union. She blows Ronald Reagan, and then the Russian narrator voice said, "That was exactly what we didn't want to happen."
They beat us in the blowjob race.
Yeah.
The Russians have launched their new blowjob technology.
The Russian have beat us in the who getting the best head race.
Yeah. Spunknik. They've launched
Fuck.
Spunknik.
Oh my God, putting peanut butter on my cock so the dog Laika will lick it off.
Oh man, that poor dog. You're just like, what the fuck is going on? No one back home is going to believe this shit. No one at the pound is going to believe this.
No one at the pound was
They'll be like, yeah, sure, you went into outer space. Okay.
Like, what happened? were there cool new smells? No, it was all the same the whole time. Oh, boring, terrible trip. Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Bullshit.
Well,
That thing was probably filled with piss and shit when it came back. You didn't walk him. You didn't moonwalk him.
no, he didn't moonwalk him.
Poor dog.
So what else happens in this movie?
This is to say that Donald, honestly, watching this movie, he gave me so much game. Like, I felt like Donald's rhetorical strategies, especially when dealing with other people, were so inspiring in this film. And of course, most of that is, the way he handles being attracted to a very beautiful woman. There is a woman in this town that Donald has just moved into. Mind you, his name is Evan Shepherd. He meets a woman named, I kid you not, Anita Rock.
Yep.
Anita Rock? Even by Donald's standards.
They should have had a temptress named Amanda Huggin Kiss.
Yeah.
I guess that would have been that one girl that tries to like
Was that
rape
Angie?
him. Yeah.
Was she
the one who
temptress?
was like, I gotta talk to you right now, no witnesses? And she's
hilarious.
like 14 years old.
She was so
Wait,
funny.
Yeah, there was one teenage
Amanda
Jezebel
Huggins.
hussy who was, I guess, hooking up with the youth pastor at
Yeah,
the
that
age
girl.
of 15.
But she was saved.
And then
She got
she was saved. And
But
then
her friend,
her friend tried to corner Donald James Parker. Little did she know he has the chaperone rule.
Everybody in this fucking universe, cinematic universe, wants to fuck this disgusting, like rail thin old man who runs like a fucking, like he's got rickets all around town and puts a fucking salad bowl on his head to cut his hair.
Yes.
What?
Let's review.
Every movie he's turning women away.
Let's review the instances in Donald James Parker's film catalog where women are saying, "Please, Gramps, I need to fuck you now."
Young and old.
Yes. In every movie, every one of movies that Donald writes for himself, starring himself, there are scenes where young women and old women alike will say things from afar like, "That guy's pretty handsome for an older guy."
Yeah.
Or in this movie,
when he shows up in his fucking weird ass like outfit, the blue vest, and she's like, "It looks distinguished."
yeah, you look so distinguished, Evan.
You look like fucking even gayer Ned Flanders. Well, Ned Flanders wasn't gay.
Yeah, he was queer baiting.
Yeah.
But I mean, the most egregious example of that is probably Gramps Goes to College, when he goes on a date with his like enemy, the biology professor. Well, he doesn't think it's a date, but she does.
Yeah.
And she like has on what is by today's standards a pretty normal top, and he begins the dinner with her by asking her to put her goodies away, or like, "You need to hide your charms," I believe is his exact wording.
I think he's a sex addict. I think he is a non-practicing sex addict.
Yeah, he's a recovered sex
He
addict.
refers to his own
Interesting.
daughters as temptresses.
that
And
was
he
psycho.
refuses to be in a room unaccompanied with another woman.
Yeah.
Which is like, in my thinking is, men who think that way, whether it's like influenced by religion or they use that as like an excuse, or like must think all women want to fuck them all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Or, less generously, they just think all women are going to lie about getting like essayed by these people.
We should talk about the specific relationship with Anita Rock. Anita Rock. And let's not forget Luke Wolf, Evan
Yes.
Shepherd, Anita Rock.
Luke Wolf.
Anita Rock.
What was the son's name?
Lukey. Because he's Luke Wolf's junior.
Right.
Yeah, they're both called Luke Wolf. Luke Wolf is the evil pastor. Evan Shepherd is the good pastor, and Anita Rock is the woman that they are vying for.
Good God. This is like fucking Pilgrim's Progress.
It really
shit.
is.
You're right.
And then, Pastor Worldly Wise Man, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But in this film, Anita Rock she's actually not engaged to Luke Wolf, but in the beginning of the film, we hear
This,
Luke
sorry.
Wolf. No, go on.
Real quick, that reminds me of I've been reading this like Taoist book, Wandering on the Way. It's like a very old thing, and it's translated from Chinese, and the names are so funny. And it's like apparently Taoists have big beef with Confucianists.
Okay, sure.
And so anytime they tell a story, it'll be like the Taoist monk, Mr. Smart Guy, encountered the Confucius priest, stupid dumbass. And they talked about the state of the world. It's always stuff like that.
That's
It's so
amazing.
funny.
That's great.
That is amazing. In the beginning of the film, Luke Wolf is talking about, Anita is my girl. I'm going to marry her, and she's going to be the first lady of Victory Church, which is the, the very worldly sort of abundance church that Luke Wolf is running.
Yeah.
And he thinks in no way that this shrimpy newcomer, Evan Shepherd, is going to have a chance with Anita. But sparks fly immediately, and everyone in town knows it. This is like a typical thing with Donald James Parker's movies. There's the stupid Freudian slip at dinner where the other church lady says, like, the two of them are talking, and the other lady in their church is like, "Oh, let me get another piece of sweetie pie. Pie." It's like, are you fucking kidding me, man?
These people are very simple-minded.
Honestly, Donald James Parker is like, he obviously has like a high IQ.
Yeah.
But
Functional, I would say.
which, is the bar is very low.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is like the stupidest smart man, or like the smartest stupid man, like in this genre.
Well, he does the thing that like some people think is smart, where you can like repeat stuff.
Yes. He's great at that.
Yeah, which is like, I don't know, I forget. We didn't we talk about that with like Constitution guys or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like if you can repeat things that people said a long time ago that kind of vaguely tie into what you're talking about, as long as you can distort the meaning of the original thing, then you're like a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can repeat something someone else said like 100 years ago versus having your own original thought, you are like the smart person.
Yes.
Back when they didn't even have phones.
Yes, I couldn't even check that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So just, speak confidently. Just, y'all, speak softly and carry a big stick.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. And if you can, in Graham's world, like the smartest thing you can be is like find some random ass Christian author from some arbitrary point in time that you agree with, and then just say like, read that book where this guy says this thing that's totally made up, but it's in a book.
Yeah,
who's the guy? AZ
I'll
Newman
say his name.
or whatever.
It's A.W. Tozer.
A.W. Tozer.
Shout outs to A.W. Tozer. Y'all, everybody better get his books. Gramps has name dropped him before, but
It sounded so familiar when he said it.
I know, but like, I'm telling you, A.W. Tozer. What if that was
He founded A&W's.
what? Wait, what? I just realized. What if that's Donald James Parker's pen name?
I looked it up to like
Ooh.
double check to make sure.
Oh, really?
He is some old guy from like the 20s or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, it's typical.
The point in history I decided is when everybody got everything right. And I will base my life philosophy around that.
Yes.
I have to say, some people pick ancient Rome. Some people pick other points. Mine is the 1920s America.
Yeah.
That's when everybody had it all perfectly figured out.
Roaring 20s.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever be bad again.
Yeah, let the lion roar.
Yeah. Yes. Now, granted, Evan Shepherd is clearly interested in Anita, but more so than that, he's interested in the Word of God and helping people get into heaven. Part of the reason, as the movie evolves, we find out that God has called him to open the Old Rugged Cross Church is that Pastor Luke Wolf, Anita's sweetie, is doing very bad false Christian teachings. I mean, the movie opens with a very twisted sermon.
He's a prosperity preacher.
Financial blessings are a gift from God. Jesus came to give us abundant life. Just as was spoken in John 10:10, the abundant life includes peace and joy, love, wisdom, health, weight loss, confidence, success, super intelligence, and most importantly, financial abundance. Just as a farmer expects a harvest when he sows his seed into the soil, you should expect, have faith in, a harvest when you sow your seeds, your financial seeds, into my ministry.
Yes, he claims...
This was way before the Drewski skit.
Yes. Donald James Parker would not be the first time that Drewski was cribbing from Donald James Parker.
It's the white Drewski.
He really is in many ways. They've been calling him the white Drewski online.
They're calling him the white Drewski. He's an attractive 85-year-old man with impeccable style.
Yeah, I really like that first sermon that we hear at Victory Church. He promises his congregation that they will lose weight.
Yeah.
And that they will do, your typical like abundance, financial sowing. Your tithe is the seed that you sow, and you will actually reap that tenfold in rewards. This is a very common, it's still used today. This is a very common like financial manipulation tactic by pastors. It's very wrong to do. However, if you were to pledge at our $20 tier right now, you will reap tenfold in DVDs.
Yes.
Okay.
And entertainment value.
Yes.
This is a tangible thing.
Exactly.
And it will, in addition to the physical media, it will help you lose weight or gain weight.
Well, yeah.
Or honestly, whatever you want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically.
If you want a freaking elephant in your living room right now, you will get that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. It's like Jumanji. The secret is kind of like Jumanji.
Yeah, it really is. All of a sudden, Julian even mentions the elephant in the podcast. All of a sudden, we hear, doom, doom, doom.
The monkey's paw.
Yeah.
The elephant's roar. Let the elephant roar.
Yes. Let him roar, folks. Let him roar.
I feel like I'm on crack right now.
Man, this
Why?
The two
I am
NA
just-
beers and now I'm bouncing off the wall.
I'm just imagining the Jumanji, The Secret matchup now. I think they should remake The Secret. But like
With Jumanji?
yes. Jumanji
Yeah.
3, The Secret.
What's the thing they say in Jumanji? Isn't there like a phrase or something?
Yeah, they say Jumanji.
Oh.
Is that
Right
true?
in front of us the whole time.
Scott, I don't know if this will be plausible, but what if you re-edited The Secret Dare to Dream, and whenever they make a wish, it like cuts to the Jumanji scenes of people like looting from supermarkets and stuff?
The secret
that'd
is
be
like
fun.
the monkey's paw with a happy ending. I love to
Honestly,
get
if I
happy
just
ending
picked
from
up a
monkey's
copy
paw.
of The Secret every time I saw it at a thrift store, then I could send all of the patrons a copy of The Secret
Yeah, just everyone.
at any
We
tier.
just start sending people things for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's a good motivator. Okay, we're gonna start doing spam rules. If you don't pledge at the $20 tier, we're gonna keep sending you monthly copies of The Secret until you pledge to the $20 tier.
But please send us your address first.
Yeah, we are gonna need your address for that to happen. But you can just put any address in there. We're not gonna know what it is.
Do you remember? Do you guys remember way before we did the podcast? There was like that preacher guy that I signed up for his mailing list, and he would send me like fucking irradiated water and like
I don't remember that.
salt from the Dead Sea and stuff. Peter Popoff.
Peter Popoff.
right.
Who's popping off?
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Donald James
yes.
Parker character.
Yeah. But I got all kinds of fun free shit from him.
Popping off.
He was, yeah.
I had a flashback to one time I was hanging out with Nate, and as a prank, he like called a TV preacher and like signed up for the mailing list, but he ended up just giving them his like real name and address because he couldn't think of anything funny to say.
He's got that Midwestern honesty.
I know. And then he hung up the phone. He's so funny, but he hung up the phone. And he was like, "Wow, that was like the worst prank ever. I just gave them exactly what they wanted from me." That was funny, but yeah. Luke Wolf is
He put shaving cream in his own hand and then went to sleep.
Yeah. Yes, he did. But, Luke Wolf he's promising big things to his congregation, but you can tell that the congregation feels very wounded. There's many complaints. There's rumblings, at the same time that the old Cross Church is about to open. We hear whisperings in the congregation. The son of the family that ends up joining Donald's congregation, I can't remember his name. He says a line that was so Donald's. I wrote it down in the beginning of the movie. He says, "They're supposed to be our brothers and sisters in Christ. Instead, they treat us like we have lice."
Yeah. It's because the youth group members were being mean to them.
Yes.
I don't know why. I think it was because they didn't have a lot of money or something.
Yep.
I think so.
Our pastor isn't very friendly.
Our pastor's a busy man.
Too busy for the likes of us.
He treats you as bad as the kids in the youth group treat us.
Well, you never complained.
We were trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm getting tired of it.
Me too. They're supposed to be our brothers and sisters of Christ. Instead, they treat us like we have lice.
The priest also was like, "I don't want your help, like working on the church.
Right.
I want your money."
Right. They offer to Pastor Wolf that they say, "Hey, we can't really tithe to your new church building, but, we could work on it." And he rejects their Christian offer.
He was like, no, I'm going to have professionals build it. Bye.
Yes.
But do you want to come over for lunch? And he's like, I have plans.
Right. This also kind of ties, and this is much later in the movie, but I love later in the movie where Pastor Wolf is talking to Anita at one of their dates, and he says, "I'm not really interested in, helping poor people. I would like to help, rich, beautiful people, people who inspire me,
I want to minister to those that have something to offer. The rich, the intelligent, the beautiful, the talented. Those that make me feel good about being a servant of the Lord. And quite frankly, I like interacting with them."
Okay. You're in the middle of a town in Kentucky, and you're like, I only want to help the hottest people here.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
Listen, I'm sure there's some real baddies in Kentucky. I'm no coastal elite, but I just think it's I don't know. It's funny to be recruiting the beautiful people.
There's not any beautiful people.
No, I'm sorry. There's just not. There's just literally not. I don't know
What about
say.
Anita? Anita Rock.
I mean, to somebody, to these graying
to Donald James
eyes.
Parker. That is really funny. You should say that because at the end when she's like, "I want to go with you," and he says that her role is to stay there. He says, "Look around town at all the women with no husbands who don't have the physical attributes to attract them like you do."
Oh my God.
Verbatim. And that's
crazy.
That's what her goal is, what she's supposed to do in town. It's become the lady hitch for the ugly women in town.
Yes.
And she said they sell their bodies when they're not attractive like her to get a husband.
Wild.
Bear in mind, this is coming. They're talking about a lady who has managed to attract a guy, an alcoholic, who was going to kill an old man.
We'll get to that.
And also the old man who is like the most fucking, I don't even know how to describe this guy. He's Gramps. You know, he's one of one.
He looks like a sea monkey.
Yeah.
He really does more than ever in this.
Probably smells like one too.
And he smells like one too. The sea monkey's paw.
Yeah, we need to ask. I know we're skipping around here, but we already know about the love interest.
That's fine.
Like him telling her directly then after that to give Luke another chance is so wild. And she's like, okay, but I'll always love you.
Dude.
Just like a weird, like, he's like a power cuck. It's very strange.
Insane. Well, he's not supposed to have sex, according to some guy he quotes. Paul.
Yeah.
Some guy named Paul.
Too busy.
Gramps has fucking amazing game. He is always, I mean, his game, to be fair, is to not have sex.
Yeah.
Like that, he's doing everything he can to avoid having sex, but he does it in this like very distinct, almost confrontational way. And it seems to just have the opposite effect. I mean, it seems to make, you know, various pickleball princesses are throwing themselves at him. But I mean, there's the whole thing when he's like courting Anita by not courting her, and he, you know, knows that she's dating Luke Wolf, and he tells her basically, he stops just short of saying that Luke Wolf is going to go to hell. And actually, Anita asks him, like, sorry, are you saying Luke is going to go to hell? And he says, I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah. It was their first date, and she was telling him that.
Yeah, by the way, your boyfriend is literally going to go to hell.
Yeah.
That's amazing game.
Yeah.
Like, guys, I'm telling you, if you're trying to see a girl and she's like, you know, talking to some other guy, just be like, hey, listen, I know it's none of my business, but that guy you're talking to is probably going to go to hell.
Yep.
I think that would work on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked to God directly.
I spoke to God directly, and he told me that your boyfriend's going to hell, and you need to be with a better guy like me. You need to be with a guy who doesn't see you as attractive. That's also something else that Donald says later in the film. This is what he says. He says, I'd rather offend someone into heaven than flatter them into hell.
Mm.
That's a good thing. That's a smart thing that he says. Genuinely one of the smartest thing he says in this movie. And so he doesn't flatter. And in fact, he's straight up off-putting much of the time. But in his world that he's written for himself, that really disarms people, and it actually attracts them to him because they admire his honesty.
That's pretty slick too, being like, why are you being so offensive to me when you know that you're being offensive to me? And it's like, I'm trying to get you to heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. I guess
It's also a really good game. Good game.
You should write a pickup artist handbook.
Yes, he honestly should. I mean, I feel like he's written some stuff. I wonder if he has written something about like courtship and.
Yeah. He has that whole like magical fairy world or whatever that he wrote too.
Right. DJ PUA.
I gotta see a fucking. He's got to make a movie based on that stuff.
I know.
You should write an erotic thriller, a Christian erotic thriller.
Oh my God, yes.
About like a married couple.
Yeah.
An
I
old
couldn't have
married
killed
couple.
her. I'll never speak to a woman behind closed doors by myself.
Just some other examples of the game between Evan and Anita. Again, he's just talking about basically how off-putting his faith makes him and how much he alienates everyone. He says of himself, not too many women are interested in marrying John the Baptist. So he's referring to himself as John the Baptist, one of the most holy people in the Bible. Then he says it's a privilege to be ostracized for his faith, to which Anita says, ostracized? Is that like supersized? And she has to look up and he says, I'll use a smaller word.
Very nice. Negging.
So yes.
Anita smaller word.
Anita vowel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is also a great game. Use 3-syllable words.
Yes.
And most Zoomettes nowadays have never even heard a word with more than 2 syllables in it. So if you use one of those, she's going to think you're really smart, and she may even have to look it up on her phone.
Mm-hmm. Arthritis.
That's Gramps' dirty talk.
Yeah.
My arthritis is acting up again.
Is your arthritis acting up, or are you just happy to see me?
It's not the only part of me that's stiff when I'm talking to you.
Why don't you and I talk about this behind closed doors?
Yeah,
So Luke is jealous, and he starts. It's revealed over the course of the film that he has possibly a drinking problem, and Donald James Parker, Evan, has really struck a nerve with him and sort of siphoning people away from his church. So he starts a smear campaign against him after learning a little bit about his personal life. I think the biggest grievance he has is his fear that Anita is going to leave his church for the old Rugged Cross Church.
Yep.
Which I guess this one of the climaxes, not climax, one of the big beats in the movie is this sit down, this mafia style sit down between the old Rugged Cross and Luke's church. What was that about? What is that a thing that happens? It felt like they were like, we both want to date the same woman, so we're gonna sit down at a table, and I'll have my people here, my friends here, and you have your friends if you have any, and we'll basically talk about who's the better boyfriend.
Well, that was a pivotal scene in the film. It was introduced as if in this town there is a weekly meeting of all the pastors from the different churches.
Yeah.
And I agree. It was very Gaudi-esque. It was very like the movie Gaudi-esque.
Yeah.
And
they were like trying to see if it's okay for him to have a church there or something. I don't really understand. They were getting to know him.
You're just like shaking him down a little bit.
Yes. Well, I don't even know if he was necessarily invited. I think someone in his congregation was like, oh, this thing happens, and you should go to it because you're a new pastor in this town. And the purpose, I don't know if this is a common thing at all. The purpose of the meeting just seems to be for everyone in the church to brag about how many new members they got or various things like that. Donald comes in and he immediately is on a fucking tear. And I was in a good mood, so I was like yelling at the TV. Like he would say something, I would be like, get his ass. Like I was like straight up yelling at the TV during the scene. Also, something I noticed about the scene. So Anita goes to the meeting. She's been many times with Luke before, but this time she's going to the meeting as Donald's date. So that's a power play. I noticed that they literally ran the meeting, like Donald and Anita, the way that Black Israelites do there on the street. Yeah. Because how the Black Israelites do it is there's one person who's speaking, and then he calls out verses. And then there's a person whose job it is to just know the verses that are called out, either know them by memory or very quickly open a Bible to the right spot and just read it. And they have to be able to do it like on the fly. And that's like what he was doing. Like he was monologuing, and then he would say a verse, and then Anita would bring it up, and they were running shit. And I was like, "Ooh, they are laying it on these people. They are flipping over the tables."
Yep.
First of all, I can't find that sinner's prayer in the Bible anywhere. I've looked high and low. That prayer is uttered by the lips. The Bible says that Jesus looks upon a man's heart. What does the Great Commission say?
Go ye therefore into the world and make disciples of all nations.
Doesn't stop there.
Baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe whatsoever I have commanded you.
I thought that was fire.
And along with his more extreme takes, he also preaches on a Saturday. Every Saturday.
Yes.
The real
it should
Sabbath.
be mentioned. It should be mentioned. It would not be a Donald James Parker movie without him taking, painstaking, measures to contradict like very commercially accepted Christian traditions.
Yeah.
We've seen this before in Donald's movies, but of course, Pastor Evan Shepherd, he can't just have a normal church that runs on Sundays. He has to have a church on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because he just got to make sure I don't fit in, you know? Everyone who meets him is like, sure, yeah, I'll come to church on Saturday. And many people are like, well, that's great. I'll just go to your church and then I'll go to church at Victory the next day.
Got a lot to do in this town.
There must not be fucking anything to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's like, you know, this is something we talk about quite a bit on the show where it's just like, you know, Donald is making the point that many people make, including what we watched last week, Kyle Idleman's Not a Fan, where he basically says, you know, you can't be a casual, like, both of those films say the exact same thing, that you need to die to yourself as a normal person and be reborn as a follower of Jesus. And so it impacts every single aspect of your life. The simple fact is, I'm sorry, that is just too much to ask for the average person.
We have high-speed internet now. We don't have to be doing that shit.
No, God, no.
Yeah.
And
I can stream in 4K.
Yeah.
What can God do for me? Mankind invented high-speed internet.
Yep. And so we could be in... Yeah, God knocked down the Tower of Babel. That was really slick. God can't knock down the internet. It's too big to fail.
You know, that bush wasn't even burning. That was just fucking... That was lag and low resolution.
Yep. Yeah, that was a ping issue.
Yeah.
But
it took Jesus 3 days to rise from his upload speed was so slow. It took him 3 days to get to heaven.
The whole time in the tomb, it's going.
Yeah. Somebody gets on the phone and fucking ruin. They got to start all over.
But yeah, this is to say that, you know, Donald is demanding people go out of their way to reorient their life and week so that it fits around the correct aspect of Christianity. And in Donald's world that he writes for himself, this is so refreshing that people are actually now flocking to this church. They say, oh, I want to go to the weird church that does services on Saturday. That's better.
Yeah.
Because I can tell this is authentic. I'm sorry, it's just not happening in real life.
Oh.
It's just not happening.
But it could if there were more people like Donald James Parker in the world.
Yeah. And how exactly, and how big is your town? Also, he didn't pass the plate, because that was another big difference between Pastor Wolf and Pastor Shepherd. Because Pastor Wolf, again, from the first time we see him preaching, he's preaching prosperity and give me money. It'll help you or something. And then after Pastor Shepherd's first service, I believe it's Anita's like, oh, you should probably pass a plate or something, though, if you want to, like, stay open. And he was like, oh, no, there's a box in the back that you can put money in if you want.
Yes. You know what?
So
I got to say, shout out to my mom's church in Pennsylvania, Nativity Lutheran. They do that. The pastor of that church actually says during the service, like, you know, at most services, you will see a plate being passed around. We do not do that. We don't want to put pressure on anyone. There's a box in the back. Feel free to donate there if you want.
Wow.
I think it's cool.
That's nice.
I do too.
I think it is really nice.
Pay as you go.
Exactly.
And if you don't get to heaven, your money back, guaranteed.
And you know what? You can keep the DVDs. You can keep the DVDs. They're yours. They say you can't take it with you, but you actually can.
Yep. That's another good point. You can actually take these DVDs from Boys Bible Study to heaven with you.
You can take them to heaven.
Yeah.
You can take them to heaven.
They don't know what they're missing out on up there.
No.
Wait till Jesus sees Loving the Bad Man. He's going to be like, I got to get my ass back down there.
I got to get down there.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What has been going on? It's been a few
years.
We got
to straighten a few things out here.
What are some other funny things? As Evan's church grows and grows, more people start showing up. Luke Wolf and his son.
You know what'd be so sick is if Jesus came back to Earth and he was like John Taffer.
He was like, cross-contamination.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
We're going to do a stress test. We're going to put 50 billion more people on your planet. That'd be so sick.
That would be really, really sick.
And Esri.
But yeah, Luke and his son Lukey Wolf, the father and son of Victory Church, they come to one of Donald's services to see what the fuss is about. This is where I kind of mentioned this in the beginning, but Donald interrupts the service to go over to the son, Lukey Wolf, and says, God has told me you need to read 1st through 3rd Samuel as soon as possible, or something terrible is going to happen.
Son, the Lord has given me a word for you. You're to study 1 Samuel chapters 2 and 3. He has work for you to do, but you must listen to his voice and hearken unto his command before it's too late.
And then afterwards, someone asked him, like, oh, what's in 1st and 3rd Samuel? And Donald is like, honestly, I don't even remember. Like, God just told me that was what. So again, God is not just like orienting his life toward a specific action. God is like God is telling him to tell things to people that he doesn't even understand the significance.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's a verse about people like the priests' kids having sex in the church.
Sexual misconduct.
And it turns out that he is having relations with like a
15-year-old girl. Yes.
We don't know how old this guy is, though.
He's supposed to be in a youth group. So,
okay. Yeah.
So I would say
he
that
is
like
the pastor. He's got to be like at least.
He's got to be 18.
He's the pastor?
No. Lukey Wolf is the one who's having sex with the 15-year-old girl.
Yeah. Oh, he's the pastor of the youth group.
Yes, he's like the youth pastor.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
So he's got to be 18 at youngest. I mean, the actor in the movie looks like he's 25.
I know,
right?
But I would imagine the characters. I'll be generous and say he's supposed to be 18. So
it's really hard to tell in these movies,
I don't think,
considering they talk about Donald James Parker as if he's like 45.
Yes.
I'm sure they think canonically Anita Rock is like 28.
yes. So and I think it's not unfair to think that Lukey might even be older than 18. If Lukey's supposed to be like 20 or 21, then it would be very inappropriate.
Like 22, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's so funny how that and other instances of alleged sexual misconduct by men in this movie are completely glossed over.
Oh, yeah. A character, I wrote this down. Just because a man sinned long ago, we can't punish him if God already forgave him. Who decides?
Yes.
Who decides when God forgives you? I guess the person who did it and says they communicate directly with God. Good news, everybody. I talked to God today and he forgave me.
I am forgiven. So that quote comes from a point where it's revealed that part of the reason that Donald's character Evan left his previous church was because he was falsely accused of sexual misconduct by a woman. And this is also part of the reason why he now refuses to be alone one-on-one in a room with a woman.
How many movies have we watched where this is the fucking... It's so crazy.
It's become a common theme in the 2010s and beyond, where there are many movies about false sexual conduct allegations. Most notably, I think of Play the Flute.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is all about a teen girl jealous of like the pastor and his wife who just decides to blow up his whole career.
Basically, it's okay as long as you stop doing it once you're caught.
Yeah.
Seems to be the lesson.
Right. And now, granted, in the film, in Old Rugged Cross, it's pretty unambiguous that Gramps did not have sexual relations with that woman. But it's just amazing how, like the Lukey character having sex with a 15-year-old. Yes, the movie calls it sexual misconduct, but doesn't talk about why, and he's never like punished for it or has any repercussions. When this is ostensibly about like an adult man having sex with a 15-year-old girl. Then when two women are discussing Gramps' previous sexual misconduct, Anita is saying to this other Christian woman, like, well, that just like worries me a little bit. Like, she's not even being that extreme about it.
Yeah.
And the other woman is so quick to be like, well, that was in the really in the past anyway. I don't even care about it. I mean, maybe you should talk to him if it worries you. So this other woman who's just joined a church of a man she just met last week hears about alleged sexual misconduct and immediately is just like, well, I'm sure that was all in the past anyway.
Yep.
Like,
It's crazy.
Right.
I mean,
Not
this
being
is
like, well, what was the context? Who's the source? Just like, oh, he did, whatever. I don't want to think about that because I like him.
Like, the movie would have been so much more believable if those two characters. Like, I'm not even saying that they had to, like, they shouldn't condemn him right away. They should hear what happened. But like, the other woman is not even curious about like what the issue was. Like, that's fucking insane.
I mean, I feel like, Trump being elected after all of like the sexual misconduct stuff has like zero effect on his like political ambitions.
Yeah.
Really just goes to show you how like there is a large amount of people who are just like, I'll believe it if I don't like the person.
Yeah, that
it
is
only
genuinely
matters
how
if
it
I
works.
don't like the person.
Yes, that's
I feel like we
functionally
should
how
have
it works.
shown these scenes to all of America before, or at least liberal America, to reveal how most people think about this stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Not saying it's a good thing, but it
No,
really is like, that is such a big takeaway from a lot of these Christian films. It's just like, as long as the guy says he's a good person, you can basically do whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just, I just find that to be like very convenient and like troubling in Donald's films, that like, here's this character of this old guy who rejects all female advances. Women find him so sexy anyways. They want to fuck him, or they will like accuse him of like fucking them or whatever. But it's just like, his sexual magnetism is off the charts.
Yeah, it might be, there might be another layer to this whole family abandoning him thing. Maybe it's not just his religious beliefs that are the reason why his wife and kids don't talk to him anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
and why he seems so hell-bent on portraying himself as a guy who is constantly pushing women away.
I mean, obviously, we can only
Of course
speculate.
I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm literally listening to God. God is literally telling me what to do, and I'm doing what he says.
I think when God punishes you and we can no longer like judge someone, if God's punishment is basically that person felt bad for like a week or two, where they were really stressed out because everybody was mad at them.
Yeah.
And once you're through that, once you're ready to be like, I don't feel bad about this anymore, I have served my punishment.
Yeah, I'm
now
over it.
you all must forgive me.
Yeah, I'm over it.
I'm over it. God stopped doing the thing where he was sticking his finger in my head and making me feel bad.
Yeah.
He's God pokes the soft spot on your skull to make you feel bad for like a couple weeks whenever you rape someone, apparently.
Yeah.
And then you're good.
Hey, listen, Evan Shepard was innocent.
Yeah.
Evan Shepard did no wrong. But Lukey Wolf in this movie, we know he did something wrong.
Yeah.
And, for the beginning of the movie, that's just taken for granted that he is, he's one of the evil characters. He and his father are the evil ones in the movie. So we're just like, but I just imagined that there was going to be more of a come to ruin moment with that. But no, Lukey gets saved. He ends up going against his father because he, realizes his father's too corrupt, in part because of this book of Samuel that Donald recommended him. And he even is like later in the movie, like in the same room with that girl and stuff like that. And it's just never addressed. Like, that's just such a big detail for someone like Donald, who's so painstaking about these like character moments and development. I just find that to be like a really weird thing that's left hanging.
I know. Well, he was still a young filmmaker when he wrote this film.
Yeah, he was. he was 87.
Yep.
Should we maybe jump a little ahead to the end?
Yeah,
I feel like we've been going for a long time.
Yeah, we have. This is definitely. We're good on time.
Yeah,
there's a lot to talk about, but
right.
Well, and it's almost 2 hours too. The movie. I mean,
it was.
And I never was at any point like, this is getting boring. I was just like, wow, he is in the zone.
No, for real. I thought this was as solid as fuck film. But no, I actually think, like, per my notes, we hit my personal main points. I would love to talk about the thrilling climax to this insane film.
So Luke Wolf's plans to thwart Gramps. I keep calling it Gramps.
It's fine.
Evan Shepard. Definitely not Gramps. Luke Wolf's plans to thwart Evan Shepard have failed every step of the way because he just has this charisma that he's the Teflon priest in this town, the Teflon pastor.
Yeah.
And so Luke finally snaps and drunkenly holds Evan at gunpoint in the old Rugged Cross Church, basically threatening to kill him.
When his son and Anita are there as well.
Yep, in front of witnesses. He doesn't give a fuck anymore.
We're just going to head out for some dinner. You want to join us?
Oh, I would love to do
Oh, how cozy and how convenient. All the important people in my life in one place.
Dad, what are you doing here? What, are you drunk again?
You are so observant, Lukey boy. I'm on a little mission of vermin control.
Luke, we don't want any trouble here.
Yeah, I know. But I'm bringing it. Now, Wonder Boy, can you outrun a bullet?
Dad, have you gone crazy?
Crazy? Why would I go crazy? This false preacher, teacher man waltzes into town, steals my girl, half of my congregation, blows up my building project, and alienates my son. Why would that make me go postal?
It's his love interest, his own son, and his rival, and he's just totally crashing out.
Yep.
He's off the henny. He's drunk as fuck. He's talking nonsense. He's saying insane shit. The quote I wrote down from this scene, he says, well, at one point when Gramps steals his gun because he's fucking good at everything.
Yeah,
he just like quick draw steals his gun.
That's awesome.
And then Pastor Luke says, well, now you've taken everything. Why don't you steal the one last thing that I've got? My blood. I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy is crashing out.
Yeah. Yep.
Like he's in like baboon presenting ass to stronger male level of cuckoldry. Like Gramps is completely dominating him. He has taken everything from him.
Pastor
I
mocked.
was just thinking that it's crazy how little crossover there is between Christians and gun control. Yeah, so many of their movies end with like a lapsed Christian pointing a gun and threatening to kill someone.
It happens all the time.
I know. You'd think you'd maybe at some point just be like, I mean, I guess in a lot of these movies, the people don't end up using the gun.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they do. Then the good person gets to go to heaven. So I guess if you get rid of if you have stricter gun control, less Christians are going to heaven.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty sound argument.
Or they're going to heaven later.
I mean,
we need them there now.
Let's not forget that in the film In Gramps' Shoes, Donald James Parker's character is shot to death.
Yeah.
He dies in that movie.
Yeah.
So, Gramps is, Donald is well aware of the danger posed by letting people in his church who are open carrying.
Yeah.
But, that's not even really a topic that's broached, but we can't really expect that, I guess.
Yeah, but Luke ultimately is won over and he proclaims himself dead, executed spiritually.
Yep.
And the new Luke is born, who I guess is going to take over the old Rugged Cross Church, or did he just changes his sermons at his church?
Yeah, I think he's gonna stop saving up money for a new church, stick to the one he's at now. Yeah, because he was trying to get people to up their tithing to build a new church.
Up their Patreon tier.
You know what was really funny was when they left and Anita was like, well, what do I do with this gun?
Yeah.
And Lukey was like, I'll take it to the pawn shop and get some AW
Tozer.
AW Tozer.
He says, I will exchange this gun at the pawn shop for AW Tozer books.
Yeah, they just have those there.
Somebody else is showing up there with their AW Tozer books. They're like, hopefully this is enough for one gun.
He starts freaking out like Kathy Bates in Misery when they don't have AW Tozer books.
Walking into your local pawn shop and saying, so would the AW Tozer books be under A for AW or T for Tozer? and they actually shoot you with one of the guns behind the counter.
His points the gun at you and it's like, will you take this as payment? Not knowing what they're doing with a gun.
Yes.
Like in that sequel to Wings of Desire.
Yeah. Gramps Gramps' reaction to
it's all Gramps.
It's Gramps. Gramps' reaction to having almost getting his brains blown out in his church is also Anita is like, aren't you gonna call the police? He pulled a gun on you. And he says, it's street ball rules, no blood, no foul.
Does he really say that?
Insane.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's absolutely insane.
Street ball rules.
Yeah,
this is a
like,
man pointing a
cops.
gun at your head. Yeah, sorry.
I'm sure that's when you find out though. He's like, but I don't want the cops here because then they'll get me for. Never mind. Like he's been going across the whole country. We don't really know what he's been up to. He thinks God tells him to do stuff.
He's the BT kid. He's the DJP killer.
Yeah,
he got too many. His wanted level was too high, Grand Theft Auto style, so he had to go into Kentucky to like calm it down for a little bit.
Yeah.
The DJ PUA killer.
Yeah, no blood, no foul. That he had a gun pointed at his head, which is like it's one of the most traumatizing things that can happen to you. But he's cool.
Yeah.
Nah, he's cool now. He said he was sorry.
Street ball rules.
I spiritually executed him.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, spiritually.
That's how confident he is. He's got like a gun pointed at him, and he's like, I'm pretty sure I'll be good.
The way he grabs the gun from him is so funny.
Yeah.
Just yet another little story for the myth of Donald James Barker.
Incredible.
He's just good at everything. He's awesome.
The man, the myth, the grandfather.
Yes. I mean, Gramps is really the perfect man. He just has, his character is just imbued with the confidence to move perfectly fluidly in any situation.
Yes.
It's honestly, I'm really, really jealous of him, and that anything that I've said remotely critical of him now or on any other episode is out of pure jealousy and admiration for him. That's why I do character attacks on him and stuff like that.
He has that whatever disease is that old white men get where they just are like, you reach a point and then you're like, if I'm ever surrounded by like 15 youths who are ready to beat me up or playing music too loud, I will kick every one of their asses.
Here's what I'll do. First, I'll shoot one of their ankles. Then I'll use that to trip the other one over. They could describe to you step by step the plan they would have for disarming 15 armed.
They'll be so surprised that an old man can move like a cat that they will be completely disarmed.
What was the name of that movie we covered? That was it was like a Texas movie with the guy,
the ice bullet,
who goes next door to the neighbors and he like pulls a gun on them and was like, turn down the music.
Yeah.
It was the Ice Bullet movie. That one was called it wasn't The Watcher, right?
What was it?
Something
was
like
it
that.
The Watcher?
That movie was amazing. Something on the Watch.
That was really good.
That movie is
Yeah.
fucking amazing. I wish I could remember that guy's
Oh,
name.
what was heartbreaking ending.
We'll find. I mean, yeah, that movie had it all. That was literally like
That should be on the Criterion.
no, it literally should. That's like one of the fucking best movies I've ever watched. I'm gonna scroll through our Instagram until I find it because I think it's really important to say. Actually,
The Pro Bono Watchmen. That's what it was.
the Pro Bono Watchman. Jesus fucking, that one really rolls off the tongue. No wonder we couldn't remember it. But yeah, that movie's fucking awesome. And,
That's
yeah.
kind of like that's like the movie version of Donald James Parker.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the two of them, if the two of them saw each other, like they couldn't rest until the other one was dead. Like Donald James and the auteur behind that movie, because they're the exact same type of guy. It's like insane.
Or they would get along so well that nobody else could be around them.
Yeah, exactly. They would paint the whole town red together, and then die in like a homoerotic way, representing their love for each other. But yeah, after this nearly bloody confrontation, Pastor Wolf, he becomes saved on Donald's terms because Donald really just knew what was up. Pastor Wolf offers to wash the feet of his congregation to say sorry for.
Yes.
Hey, sorry, I stole all your money. I will wash your feet.
I must insist.
Yes.
On washing your feet. I won't take a no for an answer.
As a pastor, I should love you all. I used you for my own purposes and had disdain for you at the same time. I've repented, and I ask each one of you for forgiveness. To show my newfound humility, I wish to do something that Jesus did with his disciples the night before he went to the cross and died for our sins. He washed the feet of his disciples. Now, I know that may sound strange to you. Please bear with me. I'm not too proud to do this. Some of you may feel a little uncomfortable. If you do, you might need to speak to the Lord. If you need some help on that, trust me, I've had a lot of practice at that in the last few days. So now, if you would accept my request for forgiveness, I would ask you to come forward now and allow me to wash your feet.
Him like pawing the strained boner in his slacks as he washes all of his congregation's feet. Sicko, what a real sicko.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think, oh well, this means that Gramps and Anita Rock can ride into the sunset together, but no. Evan has to leave town because God has given him a new assignment in Pennsylvania.
Yep. He's going to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
I think he's going to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I suddenly remember that I have a memory from 5 years old of a man I didn't know just walking up to me at the park and slapping me across the face and then walking away, never to be seen again. And I realized that, his mission was to drive halfway across the country. You have to slap a homosexual child in a park in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Send him a message. I don't know what he's doing there, but he basically sets up Anita and Pastor Wolf, even though he clearly has a thing for Anita.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you have to stay here and be an aged whore and marry
She's
this
the
guy.
Ghislaine.
Yes. She was fearless and crazier than him.
You know what? This is along these lines. I saw a Ray Comfort video from the past couple of days where he calls out Ben Shapiro for calling a woman who used to be promiscuous, who married a virgin, and they're both devout Christians now.
Good.
And Ben Shapiro referred to her as a whore with his little podcast buddies, and they're giggling about it. And they're like, but they're trying to be like, no, but the Christian thing, it's it's good, but she is a whore.
Well, Ben Shapiro's not Christian.
No.
So he can say whatever he wants. As long as he fucks through a sheet. a hole cut in a sheet.
But
My
Ray
sister's
Comfort,
hot as fuck.
Ray
Hate to
Comfort
say
was
it.
calling out Ben Shapiro though he was basically doing what the ladies were about Donald James Parker, where it's like, come on, everybody's whatever.
Well, you
Where
know
are
what?
they at now?
Good for Ray. Good for Ray because you know, I do think it is it's a cheap shot to be like Ben Shapiro didn't say this, but he's basically saying like a man can do all that and it's whatever, but like a woman who's been promiscuous in the past, she's technically always going to be a whore, even if she becomes like born again or whatever. So very hypocritical.
That's the thing that pisses me off the most about all this is the hypocrisy.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
When they go low, I get high. And I'm going to stand by that.
My last thing I want to bring up.
Yeah.
What was with the wind chimes in the soundtrack?
So
I always
weird.
I thought something like magical was happening at that moment, and then I realized it was just mixed so horribly in the
It's the wind of the Holy
background
Spirit.
music. That's what I thought it was supposed to. No, I thought
But
it
then
was
they were
like
just
somebody
throwing it
saying
everywhere.
something when they were having a revelation, but it was like literally in the soundtrack.
I know.
So you remember to turn the page to see the next part of the movie.
No, at first I feel like the first time we heard it was when Donald was like meeting Anita.
Yeah.
So I thought that this symbol, it's like it's a sound effect to represent a significant moment.
Yeah.
But then they were just using it fucking
kept
whenever. I was like, I mean, it's just a really lazy composition technique because the wind chime just sounds nice, so you can just put it everywhere.
It sounds so nice. They turned it up so loud in the mix that it was louder than people's dialogue in some scenes.
Yeah, it was kind of the movie was kind of mixed like an Alicia Crampton album, which is good if it's an Alicia Crampton album, but it's bad if it's a movie, because that shouldn't be how that works. He fucking destroyed this town in Kentucky, and now he's off to Pennsylvania to kill again.
To take down another pastor and break another woman's house. House? Break another woman's heart.
Yes. And I think those are the most significant points of Old Rugged Cross. But I think that, even hearing our full review, there was so much great dialogue and great moments in the film that like this is one you should, if you're listening to this, you should actually like take some time and watch, because it'll be a crowd pleaser.
For sure.
Yep.
Readily available on Tubi.
YouTube as well, I
Probably on
noticed.
YouTube too.
It is. Yeah, I watched it on YouTube.
Nice.
But yeah, with that said, I think we should give the official Boys Bible Study rating of Old Rugged Cross.
I'll give you a 2 out of 2 working legs, because the girl in a wheelchair was healed at the Old Rugged Cross youth group.
Right.
And it's kind of glossed over in like a 10-second exchange between Lukey and Luke Sr.
One of the high school students who was crippled supposedly got healed last night at that Old Rugged Cross youth group meeting. They said she was running around the sanctuary afterwards.
Do you know the kid?
Yeah. She was in my youth group. They've been telling the kids that God still does miracles today, and that God can work through them the way he did the disciples.
That's that charismatic crock for you. They're a bunch of crockpots. You get it? Crockpots, crackpots. I crack myself up.
Miracles are
Unbelievably in
happening.
passing. A full-on miracle.
Yep.
Yes. Amazing.
That's
there
world
you go.
building. That is world building. I am going to give this 1 out of 1 ticket to Warrior Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of Warrior Fest?
Not until this movie. No.
Yeah, me either.
Warrior Fest is when me and all my my friends have a sleepover when their wives are away, and we we wrestle. We do things the way the Spartan warriors would do, let's just say. But I think this was talking about a different warrior fest, a Christian one.
Like a prayer warrior fest?
Yeah, it just sounded like one of those Christian conferences. I can't remember what it was called, but the youth group in my church would go to one every year. I think it was called Creation. But everyone just talked about it like, oh yeah, we're doing like Creation this year, as if it was like something that everyone knew and everyone heard of, you know?
Yeah.
I never went because I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But
we had one for Jews. It was like Nifty or something, NFTY. I never went.
Yeah.
I was like, I cannot think of a place I would. Hey, wasn't I taught to stay away from camps that were just Jews in them? I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, I feel like there's some epigenetic
Are you going to
stuff
put
that
all
should
us
be
Jews in a
working.
camp this summer? And you're telling me you're signing up for this?
Who organized? Let's see the name at the bottom of the poster of who organized this before we
Hitler.
go. A.W. Hitler.
Adolf W. Tozer.
Well, as for me, I love this movie. I honestly, even though it was like in some ways more low key for one of his films, because it wasn't about like, you know, Jews talking about Tim Tebow or something, you know, like it was
part of the
it was like it was pretty
Unexpected Bar Mitzvah.
straightforward for Donald, but it was honestly, I think, one of his most solid films. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to give give this movie 1 out of 1 chaperones. 1 out of 1 female chaperones.
We do have a witness here to watch us
Yes.
podcast behind closed doors.
Oh yes, I wrote in my notes. If Donald James Parker moved to my town, I would have to be the first man that he needs a chaperone to talk to, because I would put the moves on Donald. And let me tell you, when I want something, I get it. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, that was Old Rugged Cross, a great movie by one of our favorite auteurs, Donald James Parker, the GOAT. Not the throat goat, just the regular goat. But yeah, you know, this is on our public feed at boysbiblestudy.com. If it's your first time listening, why don't you go there? We have 6 years of bi-weekly episodes that you
Holy
can listen
shit.
to, which is
When
crazy.
do they start getting good? Because they don't necessarily want to start at the beginning.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just am that way with podcasts in general. Like, I almost always am like, I like to give a podcast like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
Lots of good ones.
we got great ones. I mean,
There are good
I
ones.
think that our analyses were always good, but you know what's funny? If you listen to older episodes of us, our voices sound different.
That's so funny.
Really?
I've heard
Yes.
like other podcasts where that happens.
Yes, I think
We
it's
weren't
just
beaten
like
down by the world. You know?
yeah, well, that, but also I think it's just like you get so used to like hearing you perceive your voice, and you end up like making subtle changes in the way
Yeah.
you like project. My voice sounds like almost, you can tell it's me, but I feel like my voice sounds completely different
That's
now
crazy.
compared to when we started.
We were replaced. The great replacement.
Yes. But yeah, also, if you want material every single week, please pledge at patreon.com/boysbiblestudy. For $5 will get you access to our bonus feed. And as we already said, $20 will get you access to our monthly DVD program, Bootleg Bible Study. It's going to be so exciting. So please join. Some of you already have. So look forward to your first DVD.
You guys are
coming soon.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
You guys and gals.
They
And
really
everything
are.
in between. We love you.
We really, really do. Also, our outro music is the song Oh My God by Mary. So from all of us here at Boys Bible Study, myself, Ash, my co-hosts, Old Rugged Scott and Old Rugged Julian, we would like to say, peace be with you.
And also with you.
Yes. We could do another
I'm
Reagan.
coming. Oh.
Flicking the jelly bean.
Flicking the jelly bean is fucking insane.
The jelly bean.
That could be a 15-minute long college humor sketch. But they wouldn't have been able to think of that.
Are we going to keep in contact?
Sure. We could use Facebook. I can post all those exploits that God leads me through. You can post pictures of your dogs.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I I feel your loving me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me. Every day